Welcome everyone. Here's another Don't Get Tripped Up Phoenix real estate market update for you. Hi, I'm Jake with Homes for Patriots, and we help clients with their home buying and selling journey by streamlining that process for them. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the near future, be sure to follow this channel for more videos just like this one. All right, let's jump right into it. The market update. We all want to know what's going on in real estate. And it's important because real estate is where most people have their wealth and their net worth in. So knowing what's going on is actually a really important thing for you. So with me being both a loan originator and a realtor, I'm going to dig into mortgage stuff as well as the realty side. So first things first, let's talk about mortgages. Shit, they're awful. Mortgage rates are tanking right now, and a lot of it is due to a lot of these reports that have been coming out. We've been getting a lot of reports with totally different numbers on them. Like today, the ADP jobs report came out, but when you compare that to the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics jobs reports, I mean, talk about being on right field and left field. They are so far apart, it's not even funny. So ADP said that we created 324,000 new jobs for the last month. The expectation was only 189,000. So once again, ADP has blown the roof off of expectations for the past 2 months. My concern is we have an election coming up and reports can be bought just like politicians and scientists and doctors. And that's where I think is driving. That's why I think some of these reports are coming out acting like our economy is super strong. But if we all look at the real facts of it, everything costs way more. People aren't as happy. They're not able to spend as loosely as they have been before. And, I mean, they even say that gas is cheaper right now, but we all know that's bullshit because gas is way more expensive than what it was in 2020. So let's talk about these reports and why I'm even mentioning this. So they do a revision every time for the previous month, and ADP did a revision for their June report. In June, they said they created 490. They said America created 497,000 jobs. They reduced that by 42,000. The interesting thing is that the Bureau of Labor Statistics says we only created 149,000 jobs. So we have 149,000 on one side and 455 on the other. That scale, I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. So this is where, for me, I feel like a lot of these economic reports are coming out are literally just going to be smoke and mirrors because we're getting into election season and they want to do whatever they can to make it look like everything is fine. And most people won't dig in deep enough to see that it's not fine. Here's a chart showing where the interest rates have been going for the mortgage-backed securities wise for the last quarter. So on this chart, you read, where the numbers are at, where they're at 99.88 or whichever. So on this chart, though, the higher the number on this chart, the lower the mortgage interest rate. So if this number is below 100, you just expect poor interest rates. Right. This is also the bond for the 5.5% coupon, which is how Fannie and Freddie buy the mortgages when they get sold to them and they acquire them. So the lower this number, the worse it is for any type of interest rates. You see that we were pretty level for a while throughout June, and then, ADP jobs report once again, and that's where you see that tank. And then we came back up because the inflation reports that come back out showed where we were at and how inflation is slowly taming itself down because of what the Fed's doing and slowing the economy, which is interesting that we have so many new jobs in a slower economy. And then we trended the opposite. We trended back down again just due to the fact that most of these reports are not going to become positive for bonds, right? And bonds are what drive, selling these bonds is what drives our interest rates. So here we are today at the time of this recording, we're only down 20 basis points, but earlier today we were down over 70. It's not looking good. I know I put out a short video saying that I'm expecting interest rates to improve maybe Q4 of this year to Q1 next year. With everything that's happening right now, I might be changing that because I feel all these smoke and mirror reports are going to come out and they're not going to help us, the people. It's only about, buying votes. So the reality is are we doing as well as those reports say? I don't personally believe it, but to each his own. If you want to believe it, that's fine. That's on you. But how I approach things is very different, and I have a very hard time believing that the people in Washington are doing things for us, the Patriots, the people who love our country, and just our citizens in general. So it's not about us. It's just about who pads their pockets. So let's switch gears and get more into the real estate side. So we've had more reports once again that are coming out talking about home values. Now, the thing that bothers me the most about home values is they always talk about how it affects affordability, but 70% of Americans own a home. So only 30% are getting into it. And yes, it does have an impact on it, but 70% are becoming more wealthy because the values of their homes are going up. And the other day, Zillow came out with their latest monthly report. Now we have both CoreLogic and Zillow saying that we are trending at a 10% appreciation nationwide. Last month it was 7. Now we're up to 10. So those numbers are driving, values up, which is great. And we want to appreciate in our homes because our homes are tools, right? That's where we build our wealth. We, buy a home, let it appreciate, pay down equity or pay down the principal. And then we sell that, we take that gap and we buy a bigger home or a better home for people who want to upgrade, or for those who just, the family grows. So you need a larger home. That's why homes are truly tools. They're not just what you live in. So values are up, and that is awesome. That is great news because that means 70% of us are creating more wealth. Now, for the first-time home buyers and the people who aren't in a home, yes, that does put a hindrance for you, but it also says stop waiting. If you can buy now, buy now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Just get in the market and go. Rates aren't as appealing as you'd probably like them to be, but the reality is we are where we are. And if you don't take that opportunity, the homes are just going to keep costing more and more and more. So talking about cost of homes, let's look at the median home price here in Maricopa County. So for the month of June, at the end when we did the report last month, we were at $443,000 as the median home price, which means that 50% of the homes are higher than that number and 50% of the homes are lower than that number. This month, we finally saw a trend which changed direction. We are going back down. We're getting closer to the numbers that we got for May at $434,990. Now, for me personally, I'm not going to look too deep into this because it's how we historically run trends. The first month of Q3, things slow down because all the schools are getting ready to start. People are wanting to be in their homes before that point. So that trends where is where people typically slow down with buying of their homes at that point, unless they have to, right? So most people are already established here and settled. So that's where, for me, I'm just taking this with a grain of salt. Plus, we all know the appreciation is still there, and these numbers are going to fluctuate a bit, but overall, we're still trending in the right direction for home values and appreciation. And then you look at listings, right? We have 14,179. That's down from like 14,400 from last month. Same thing, that we're relatively flat at that point. But the big kicker there is the number of sales we're having. So for the last month, we had 5,324. And in the month before that, we had over 7,000. But as I said earlier, I feel this has more to do with the trend and people wanting to be settled before the July hits, to get into their home and get settled for schools and all that. Where now it's July, people aren't necessarily closing as much in July because of the schoolyard, the school-age children and getting established. So we're still lower on the sales, which could indicate a slowdown. But the thing that tells me that we're not slowing down is the days on market. Our days on market is still going down. And days on market, if you're not aware, is from when a home gets listed till the home closes, not till when the home goes under contract, but when it lists to closing, where that transaction changes hands and there's new ownership. We are now at 59 days. So that means that home is under contract in 30 days. And then last month's time, we were at 64. So we've dropped down 5 days, and that is a jump. That just means that people are still there. They are buying and they're ready to go, right? Let's get in the house. Let's get moving. And people aren't waiting that are in the market, and that's smart because you shouldn't be waiting. Another factor that could have a play right now with what's going on and as far as having lower sales numbers is our interest rate is higher. So I use Mortgage News Daily. I like their 30-day, or 30-year mortgage rate better than Housing Wires just because they're more conservative. And every time I price a loan, their rate is definitely a lot closer than what I see from Housing Wire, because every time I look at Housing Wire, a client talks to me about their 30-year rate, I'm nowhere near it, and I don't understand how anyone could be close to that rate. So I do use Mortgage News Daily. Check out their website, mortgagenewsdaily.com. If you're not in the industry, honestly, the news will just bore you to tears. So I'm just trying to give you a quick update here, as that right now we're at 7.1% for our interest rate. Because the bond is tanking today, it's probably going to be a little bit higher tomorrow, but as of this recording, we are at 7.1. Last month, we were at 7.03%, and the month before that, we were at 6.85. So as I've said, we're trending the wrong direction, but inflation is improving. So going back to the beginning, and that actually should be going the opposite. When inflation comes down, we should actually be getting better interest rates. But as I said earlier, these reports keep coming out acting like everything is hunky-dory, which, as I said, is not what I feel about things or what I see as I drive around neighborhoods. That is the update I have for you for the month of July, right now being in August, as to where things are going. And here, where do I see the trends? What do I see coming in the future? Because of where we are on the trend line historically, I think things are going to be relatively flat. That's typically what happens as we're into Q3. Q4 is when we'll probably see even less and fewer listings, but that's because we're going into the holidays. Fewer and fewer people want to move during the holidays unless they have to. So that's where we're at that. We hit the top and we're kind of leveling, and we're going to dip back down on inventory. But the other part too is inventory is the reason that we're in a seller's market, because we don't have enough. So yes, inventory will be shrinking. Demand is definitely not slowing here. There's lots of people moving here, and still people are buying. It's not all cash transactions. I read a stat earlier that said 45% of home loans right now are new mortgages are first-time home buyers. And I know it wasn't that long ago that I read that mortgage applications were 70% first-time home buyers. So good job on you guys getting out there and getting your home. And then the rest of us, just, if you're living in a home, great. If you're looking to sell and you have questions, you can always comment or ask me, reach out. My contact information is definitely below for you. And in the meantime, I hope you got a lot out of this. And if you did, give me that thumbs up. And if you want to keep seeing more videos like this one, talking about where we're at, what the market is, and what's going on to help you with all your real estate needs, be sure to follow the channel. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this far. I'll see you next time.